Yeah, I can hear you.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So you are Cosette Morché from the United States, and you're playing for Eskilstuna United now, far, far away from home. I looked a little on the Google Maps. You come from way down south, and you're playing high up north now.
Yes, it's a big climate change, that's for sure.
And actually, we in Europe don't know that. Georgia, where you come from, is like on the same parallel like Tunisia, Morocco in northern
Mm.
Africa. It's not even Europe when you cross over to our parts of the world. So
Yeah,
you're
it's
totally
definitely
different.
much warmer.
And you're from the peach state also. That is.
Yes.
Uh, so you have peach trees, don't you?
Yes, our peaches they're massive, but they're really good. We're known for our peaches.
Hmm. I love peaches. Uh, you are from Lawrenceville, Georgia, and that's where you grew up.
Yes.
And I understood that it's a suburb of Atlanta.
Yes, it is.
But
It's right, it's north of Atlanta.
hmm. When you
Yeah.
grow up there, do you, as a kid or as a young adult, then do you travel to Atlanta, or do you just live your life in that beautiful? It seems very beautiful, Lawrenceville.
Yeah, we definitely traveled to Atlanta,
Hmm.
especially when I got a little bit older. It was fun to go and just visit Atlanta with friends.
Hmm.
But it's really nice not being in the middle of Atlanta and having
Hmm.
to deal with all that traffic.
Hmm.
But yeah, being back in Lawrenceville, it's beautiful. Like I don't feel like I have to go to Atlanta because there's also a lot of things to do where I'm from.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
when did you start playing football? Excuse me. You're a very tall person. You are 6'2". Is that true?
Yes,
That
it's
would be
true.
like 187 centimeters.
Yes.
Have you always been that tall, or was there just a period in your childhood where you just jumped
Yeah.
upwards?
So I never had like a huge growth spurt. I was
Mm,
always kind of always taller than
mm,
everyone my age.
mm,
So I never really like I was always taller. Everyone knew me to be one of the taller girls at school.
mm.
Yeah.
And was that something that predestined you to become a goalkeeper when you started playing football?
Yeah, so I actually played volleyball and
Ah,
basketball.
okay. Mm,
And so whenever I told people that I also played soccer, or that I play soccer now, they're like, "Oh,
mm,
weird. I thought you would play like basketball or
mm,
volleyball." I'm like, "Well, I did." And but yeah, my height has definitely helped me like with my goalkeeping.
mm,
Um, but yeah, playing volleyball and basketball also has helped me become the goalkeeper that I am today.
mm,
It's definitely helped me.
mm. But when did you decide to put all your efforts into soccer?
So I think it was when I went to college, I
Mm,
obviously just stuck with soccer, but
mm,
whenever I was in high school, like right before high school, I ended up quitting soccer
mm.
completely.
Okay.
And I was planning on playing volleyball in college. And, cause I had like a bad coaching experience and I was just like, I don't think I'll ever
Mm,
want to play again. But then I ended up playing again, of course, like your like love for soccer can't really disappear.
mm.
So yeah, so I ended up playing again, and then when I was in college, I just stuck with just soccer the
And
whole time.
did you start as a goalkeeper when playing football, or have you? Because I know I've met goalkeepers who have started somewhere else on the field.
Yeah, so I started playing when I was 4 years old.
Hmm.
So I played everywhere on the field, but I was actually more of a forward. Um,
Hmm.
but I ended up becoming a goalkeeper because the kids on my team just were really scared of the ball,
Hmm.
and I wasn't. So I personally like didn't love the idea of being a goalkeeper at
Hmm.
first because I wanted to score goals. But once I started playing and realized like how like easy it came to me and how fun it was, like I think I was like 11 and I became a goalkeeper. I became a goalkeeper super early, like
Hmm.
right away.
How's that? I mean, and I have a small idea of how it works in the United States with that college soccer, because you have a totally different system that we have in Europe. Because
Yeah.
we start playing football already in the clubs, and the whole system is built to play football in a club. But you play while you are educating yourself while you're going to school, while you're going to college.
Mm-hmm.
And are you sort of headhunted when you went to Peachtree Ridge? That's a beautiful name for a high school. That's why I came to the Peaches. And then did Lafayette in Louisiana, that's where you went after the high school. Did they sort of
Yes.
scout you, or how does it work that you come to university, or do you apply to go there?
Yes. So you don't apply at first. At first, you they come and watch you play club soccer, which is not involved in high school. It's So they come to showcases and tournaments that we have, bunches of colleges, and they just come and watch, and eventually they'll contact you if they're interested. So that's what happened to me. And Louisiana Lafayette was the first real offer that I had, and I was so excited. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come to your school. And I think I committed to go there when I was a sophomore in high school. So I had almost 3 years left of high school. Yeah.
So you already knew when you were like 15 where you would go later on.
Yeah, and I did that. I committed pretty early, so I didn't even give more opportunities to be able to have other colleges offer me. So I ended up going to Louisiana Lafayette, and then after 2 seasons there, I ended up transferring to Texas A&M University.
You headed west all the time, actually.
Yeah, I lucked out because I really enjoy the heat, and I'm glad I didn't go to a really cold state. I mean, it probably would have prepared me to come to Sweden. So I don't know. Either one would have been fine.
And Texas A&M is the university where you went to, isn't it? And the place is called College Station. That's a town, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the town where the
it sounds like a stop for a railway station or something, but it's a town called College Station because there's college, and that's the sort of thing in College Station probably.
Yeah, the college is the main, the main thing, and it's really cool because the whole all the people who live there are just so involved, and so it's just a huge, the college town is just really involved with the college. So we have so many fans that live there, and they would come to every single home match. Yeah.
And it's north of Dallas and east of Austin, somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah. And it's I think it's an hour and a half away from Houston as well.
Then how do you spend your time when you're studying because you were studying, I found that on their webpage, recreation park and tourism sciences, and then you play soccer at the same time. How are you dividing your time between those two things, between the studies and between the athletes' life?
So time management was super important. Whenever our team and our coaches and everything made sure that we had all our resources to be able to be successful in the classroom and on the field. So we usually had our classes in the morning, and then we had our practice around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then if we couldn't get all our classes in the morning, then we'd also have some possibly at night. So and then we'd have study sessions. We'd have tutors available for us. So it was honestly a really great environment to be able to get an education and play.
It sounds like they need a huge organization also in terms of staff to I mean, you're not only playing soccer, because other students are doing other kinds of sports, and they're also being scheduled and helped in their studies.
Yeah, the staff there was amazing. We could go and ask them to help us with anything, and they would help us. They had so many people there for us to even some of us who were far away from home, we didn't have our families and stuff. So if we ever needed anything, we could go up to our staff and just ask them for advice. Yeah.
But then somehow last year you came to Sweden. How did that turn out? How did that happen?
So I finished my last season in college, not last fall, but the fall before. And after that, I ended up putting my name in the NWSL draft, and I didn't get drafted, but I went in the spring, I ended up going to Houston Dash and training with them during preseason. And I also went to North Carolina Courage and trained there for like a goalkeeper combine. So that was like the start of, you know, getting my feet in the water for professional football. And so after those, I like realized like I need to go overseas and play and get some experience, like before possibly being able to come home and play. So I ended up like trying to find an agent to help me, and nothing was really working out during that springtime. But once summer hit, I found a really good agent, and she's actually from Sweden, and she went to school in the US just like I did. So she was kind of understood where I was coming from, and she helped me get over to Sweden. So it's crazy how like things work, but it I guess, you know, it didn't happen right away, but when the time is right, it actually worked out. So it was good.
And that's being as old as I am, I can tell you that it's always funny how life, how things happen in your life and that you don't have an idea about, and those things, those decisions you make, they take you somewhere else on the planet, and then you stay for a while there, and you come back with, and you're totally not totally changed, but of course you have gathered a lot of new experiences and things that, but it's some kind that feels sometimes it feels a little arbitrary, but it is like it is. But you said you signed up to be in the NWSL draft. So you can sort of apply to become a part of the draft. That's possible for when you study in the US.
Yeah. So after after your, I think you can do it whenever, but most people after their senior season will put their name in the draft, and other people who've been done with college for a while. But yeah, and then the draft comes together, and then they choose from college players and like players who've been playing overseas anywhere. So, but yeah, that's how it works in the beginning.
For us, the system is totally complicated. When I have seen the NWSL draft for like 3 or 4 years ago live on the internet, and it was so complicated when like say Utah trades their 6th draw in the draft for next year's 3rd place in the draft with North Carolina, something like that happens, and I don't understand a thing about that.
It's so confusing. I honestly don't understand either. I just go along, like when I watch it, I'm just like, okay, that's how it works, but I don't really understand, but it's fine.
So they must talk a lot and do a lot of trades. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Then you came to Sweden, and that's really a long way from home. That's the 59th parallel, because I looked it up that Lawrenceville is on the 33rd parallel north, and Eskilstuna is on the 59th. So that's really a big step up north, and of course overseas. And how was your first time in Eskilstuna last year?
Yeah, so it was my first time being in Europe at all. So it was really a really crazy, like super cool experience when I came over. It was kind of surreal. Like I literally flew over, and it just felt like I didn't even feel like I was in another country. I just felt like I was like, oh, I've just been on this plane for like so long, and I just maybe I'm just back home. But yeah, so it was great. My teammates were awesome. I actually had 2 former teammates from college who were playing in Sweden when I first got here. So that was a really awesome experience to be able to go and visit them and know someone that was here.
Who was that?
Stephanie Mallerby and Danny Rice.
Danny Rice played in Örebro, didn't she? The goalkeeper as well, yeah. I remember her.
Yeah, so that was really nice that they were here when I first got here, because, you know, it's always hard to come to a new country or anywhere new and not know anyone. So it was really cool that they were there.
But then in the team, I guess you speak a lot of English as a team, because you have people from Finland and Nigeria and Cyprus now. And
yeah, so it's honestly, it makes me happy because I'm terrible at learning languages. It's just not for me. So it's so nice that everyone speaks English so well. Yeah.
And now this year you have started playing. Your first game was, the first 90 minutes was, at least in the Damallsvenskan, was in August this year.
Yeah.
And since then you are playing as number 11, but in the goal.
Yeah, apparently that's not like, that's super weird to have number 11 in goal.
I think
here.
so too.
Yeah. I didn't honestly. Number 11 is just my favorite number, but
Okay.
I wouldn't have chosen that if
Mm.
like 1 was available or
Mm.
something like that.
And how do you feel about the game here in Sweden now when you're playing like each week?
Yeah, I think it's great competition. The past couple games have been really tough, and as a goalkeeper, like I'm very impressed with how much action I'm getting.
Mm.
Every team that we played against has been a really tough game. So
Mm.
I really think that here in Sweden, it's great competition.
Mm. And you have played also against the best teams, Rosengård and Göteborg, who are leading the field. Are they better than other Rosengård, for example? Are they a little bit better than the rest? Would you say because they lead quite comfortably right now?
Yeah, I would say like every team in this league is um they're all really hard to play against.
Mm.
I do think that they are super calm when they play, and they
Mm.
just have like a certain way that like a type of play that they always do. And
Mm.
um I think they might be like, just a little bit up there because I
Mm.
think they're just so confident, and
Mm.
they've been really high in the league. So I
Mm.
think that their confidence really brings, a lot.
Yeah, I think so. I agree totally because I think also that confidence is extremely important in this sport because if you see like right now you are in 10th position and even PTO, they won the championship 2 years ago here in
Hmm.
Sweden and they lost like 3 or 4 players, but not many players. They are, I think, ninth right now and they have no confidence and you really can see that. And 2 years ago, they started winning 5 or 6 games. They had so much confidence, which took them over the whole year and they won the championship. So
Hmm.
that's momentum is so important.
Yeah, I agree. I think Eskilstuna right now, like we're in a rut. It's like we're kind of stuck. Our confidence isn't as high as it should be. I think that we're a really great team, and we should be higher in the standings right now than we are. But I think right now, like we're just, we've been losing over and over the past couple games, so it's just like mentally exhausting. And
Mm.
hopefully, these last games, we can really get our confidence up and start winning because I know we can. Our
Mm.
team, our team is great. Like I know that we can win.
Yes, you have a lot of great players. I agree. I
Yeah.
think you should move up a little bit in the standings to the rest of the season. What are your plans for? Would you, if they ask you to stay, what would you would you stay in Sweden or are you
Yeah.
longing
So
back to the US?
So I honestly have no clue right now.
Mm.
I've just been focusing on the season, but it's always my dream to go play back home in front of
Mm-hmm.
friends and family. So if
Mm-hmm.
I ever had the opportunity to go back and play, like I would take it in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like being overseas and having these experiences playing over here has made me grown as a soccer player and a
Mm-hmm.
person. So like I would not mind like staying
Mm-hmm.
even longer because it's really like helped me grow. Like I really
Mm-hmm.
have enjoyed my time here.
I met a lot of American and Canadian players over the years. Met Kristen Press, for example, when she was in Tyresö and in Göteborg, and she told me that being here in Sweden for that long as she was here gave her a totally new perspective, and it also helped her a lot because she felt a lot of stress when she was playing in the United States, and then she said being here for a while helped her to calm down, to gather confidence in a different way, and to see the US in a different way and see the world in a different way, and that made her stronger in
Hmm.
general.
Yeah, I think the same with me. Like it's so different the way that they play here compared to home. And I think coming here really helped my confidence and helped me grow. And I know that like if I were to go back home, like I would be a different player than I was when I was there a couple of
Mhm.
years ago. So I think, yeah, it's definitely been a great experience, and I wouldn't have changed it for anything.
Hmm. Are there any things that you have experienced in Sweden that you really think, wow, this is totally different than we do it at home, but I like it, and maybe we should, um, or that you
Like
take
in
with you.
general or
Yes, in general,
soccer?
that you take with you, both in soccer and in general.
Yeah. Well, I love like the transportation, like just being able to go get a train ticket and just, I don't know, it takes you across like the country. Like I wish that was like super easy for us to do back home. But you know, we kind of have to fly everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's so big. But yeah, I think that's really cool. Like I know this weekend, a couple of us from our team, like we're gonna go to Stockholm for our weekend off. And I wouldn't, like, I don't have a car, so it's so nice to be able to have the opportunity to like go and travel. But yeah, and then I think the food here is really great too. Like I feel like there's so many healthy like options. I feel like in Sweden they eat like pretty healthy on the most part. But also like with soccer, I love the way like they play. Like I think it's so unique and different than back home, and it's really nice to get that new experience and to be able to play differently. Like when I first came here, like I had to learn how to play like with them and how it would suit the team better. So I think that I've learned a lot from that, and I thought that was cool.
Well, Stockholm is very beautiful, but unfortunately we have COVID-19 now, and that's also the reason, because otherwise you could travel by train to Stockholm in like from Eskilstuna, and I've been quite often to Tunavallen last year, 1 hour maybe from Stockholm, but now I don't want to sit on a crowded train to Eskilstuna.
So I think I'm definitely going to wear a mask, but it's so crazy because back home everyone's wearing masks, and then here in Sweden, like not many people wear them. So it's a little strange for me. Like I'm not sure what to do. Like what if I should wear a mask, if I shouldn't. And I feel like I don't know. It's
like
strange.
like your American. I think Dr. Fauci in America, he has explained it so beautifully, because he said, like if you wear a mask, you protect me. If I wear a mask, I protect you, and then we protect each other. And that sounds so logical to me, at least.
Yeah, and if I were to wear a mask and then I went on a train with people who weren't wearing masks, it wouldn't protect me at all.
You are protecting others, but they're not protecting you.
Yeah, exactly.
But what are you doing in your spare time now? Because now you have, like a year ago, you could do a lot of things more than you can do today. What are you doing when you're off the pitch, not training, not practicing?
Yeah, so when I actually first got to Sweden, I started making a blog, and I was like really into that, but then I stopped doing it for a while. But I've been trying to like pick back up and continue doing that since there's not that much to do. But honestly, I just FaceTime my family and friends back home. Like I'll just like FaceTime, you know, my family, and then when they hang up, I'll call someone else, and I'll just like it's just nice to still feel connected to people back home.
But then you have to wait until the afternoon before you can call them.
Yeah, that's very true. But I like to sleep in, so it's okay.
Okay. Well, do you think that, I mean, you have so many years ahead of you in football, or soccer. Do you think that recreation park and tourism sciences is something that you will do after, like in 15 years from now?
So I actually, with that major, I ended up minoring in youth development. And I've always wanted to be a soccer coach. So I'm hoping, I don't know if it'll be with youth, but I'm hoping that in the future, like I'll be able to coach maybe at college, or I don't know. I would just love to coach in general. So that's why I got that degree, because it helps me learn how to be able to like communicate with youth and just be involved with recreation. So I definitely think it'll help me in the future if I want to continue with coaching.
That sounds amazing. I mean, that's always beautiful. I think when people want to work with children or young adults, that's just great.
Yeah.
And the NWSL prospects are quite good, because there will be 3 new teams next year in Louisville, Kentucky, and Los Angeles, and that's the one with Serena Williams, the team in LA, and another one that I miss now.
I'm not sure about the other one. I know about those 2 though. Yeah.
So that expands a little bit the opportunities also for each and everyone in the US, because the competition must be so huge. You have so many colleges where they play very, very good soccer, and they have quite a few teams, and the competition must be very, very high.
Yeah, I think it's great that it's expanding, because so many soccer players from the U.S. go overseas to play, because there's not enough room for everyone to play back home. So I think it's really great that it's expanding, because like, for instance, here in Europe, like, there's so many teams, and back home, like, we have a pretty big country, but we don't have that many teams. So I think it's a great step for making the NWSL like improve and get bigger.
And the very last question, maybe to round this all up, I wanted to ask it as a first question. Your first name, Cosette, does it come from the musical, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my parents, they went to
Les Miserables.
they went to the play, and I think this was their first time going to the play, and literally right after it, my mom said, we're naming our first daughter Cosette, and my dad was like, I was thinking the same thing. So that's how I got my name. And it's crazy because, they came out with the newer like musical like movie a couple years ago. So everyone's like, I'm confused, like, it just came out. I'm like, no, it's been out, it's an old one. So like, I didn't just get my name like a couple years ago.
And do people sing to you, like, because I looked that up as well, like this song, What's the Matter with You, Cosette? That is one of the big songs in the musical.
Yeah. So my mom actually would sing like a lullaby at the front, and she would sing Castle on a Cloud to me. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Cosette. Or Cozy. You want to be called Cozy, don't you?
Either way, yeah. Cozy is just fun, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Cosette. And this was a nice talk with you. And I put this up probably tonight already, and I sent you a link. Thanks very much for talking to me.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Have a great time here. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.